Our next set of notes is Chapter 2, Section 2, and it's called Solving Combined Inequalities, which means we're working with, and or statements. I'll show you an example and we'll see if it refreshes your memory. This guy right here is called a conjunction, which is a fancy word of saying this is an and statement. We're going to have to solve this and statement, and then we're going to graph it. Our whole goal is to get the variable by itself. We always want to get the letter by itself. But right now, this minus 2 is connected to the letter. So how do we get rid of w minus 2? We add 2. But you have to add 2 to every piece of the inequality. Secretly, there are 3. There's the middle part, the number to the left, and the number to the right. So I'm adding 2 to all 3 pieces. -9 plus 2 is -7. All I have left is a w in the center, and then -5 plus 2 is -3. I didn't multiply or divide by a negative number, so my signs stay the same, and I'm done. This is saying that w, or the variable, is going to fall in between the numbers -7 and -3. And then this is how I graph it on a number line. The 2 numbers that I got are the numbers that I put on my number line, -7, -3. W can't equal either of them, like there's no equal sign underneath. So it's an open circle because it can't be -7 and it can't actually be -3. But it's all the numbers that fall in between, including decimals, fractions, imaginary numbers, things of that nature. And that's how you graph an and statement. Let's try an or. Here's your or statement. If you want to go ahead and write that down. This is just 2 separate inequalities. It's a fancy word for an or statement is a disjunction. And again, these are both just, well, this one's a 1-step, the other's a 2-step. We're going to go ahead and solve these. I want to get m by itself in both of them. In this equation or inequality over here, the 8's positive, so I subtract 8 from both sides, leaving me with an m. I subtracted, so my sign stays the same. 1 minus 8 is -7. Ta-da! The other one, again, I'm going to subtract 8 with it. And I'm left with -m is less than -7. I can't ever have a negative as a variable. And I always think about a negative in front of a variable as like a secret -1. And they're being multiplied together. So I always, and your teacher may have taught you different, I always divide by -1. But you don't have to. So m, I divided by a negative number, so this sign right here flips. Goes that way, and I have a +7. So let's graph what it says. So one of my inequalities said that m was -7. The other inequality said that m was +7. Neither of the m's can equal those 7's, so I'm going to leave open circles at both -7 and +7. This inequality says that m is less than -7, so all the numbers that are smaller than -7 are this way. And then this inequality over here says that m is greater than 7, all the numbers that are bigger than 7. And those go this way. And statements, you always shade between the numbers. I don't want to say always, but most of the time you shade between the numbers. And if it's an or statement, you'll shade out. They'll go opposite directions. So what I want you to do tomorrow when you get here is solve this. I want you to get z by itself, and I want you to try to graph it. This graph's going to be a little bit tricky. It takes a little bit higher level thinking, but all I want you to do is just try it. It's okay if you're wrong when you come to class, we'll talk about it. But good luck.